This week's
Definitely
AI roundup. What was that, Peter? Would you care to step on my intro again?
Let's get into it.
All right. It's Peter's time of the week.
The AI roundup, the news about AI from your friendly hosts at the Not So Critical Update. Welcome to all the news you probably missed about AI. First thing that we've got up is this great thread that I saw on the Twitters, which is, it started off as lines I don't reckon AI could write. And it's someone called Vicky Ross. I believe she has been collecting examples of copy of ads, basically, that are got kind of clever creative, where I agree that I don't think AI would be able to come up with these ads. So there's tons of examples. She's been collecting this since April the 20th last year, or this year, right? Sorry. There's one which is like a McDonald's campaign where they are like drunk people ordering McDonald's. There's a BA doing British Airways doing play on words. There's the slag of all snacks. This is a pot noodle, which is decided to adopt a kind of persona of being a bit of a slut. Cheap tacky food, but everybody loves it. This is, there's tons of examples here, and I think for most of them, I can't imagine, from what I've seen of AI generated content, they wouldn't have been able to come up with some of this stuff.
Well, they're all like puns, right? And I think the whole problem with AI is it can't create new ideas.
I guess, yeah. That's the sort of the point of it. It's not very good at coming up with genuinely new stuff. This was a favorite one that stuck in my mind, was the MacBook Air, which is famously thin and light, and the tagline is "Light, years ahead," which is that combination of two. I mean, maybe AI could do this.
I feel like AI could.
You reckon?
The Burger King one, I don't think so.
This I saw today, and I shared it in our Discord server. Everybody should join our Discord server. We have really interesting conversations in there.
Link in the description.
Yeah, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. Now's a perfect opportunity to do that. While I waste your time reading this post, somebody shared this with me earlier today. It said, the thing about LLMs that makes them unintuitive is that analogizing them with having a sci-fi AI is less useful than thinking of them as infinite copies of some guy named Steve, a grad student who's great at coding and art and is widely read, but makes up stuff when he's pressed. And I think that's really a perfect description of what AI is.
Really good summary for what the current state of AI is.
Yeah.
That's not to say that we're gonna move past the hump of LLMs, right? We're now LLM's the new hot guy or girl in town, and eventually we're gonna see something that is far beyond LLMs that might not even use copywritten material to be trained over and over again.
Yeah, and as we have to keep reminding people, AI is the worst it will ever be at the moment, and it's still pretty magical.
That's a great point. It can literally only get better.
Guess it depends on your definition.
I mean, it could get worse, but it will just get better.
Oh yeah.
It will become ad supported first of all, as John pointed out last week.
God. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, no need to we're 5 minutes into the recording. We cannot start getting depressed already. Okay,
well,
next
it is the AI roundup.
True. Most of our friends use AI in schoolwork. So we have on our Discord server a celebrity amongst men, Party Hearty. He is in the educational industry. Is it an industry? I don't know.
It kind of is,
He's an educator.
What's not an industry?
And he's been feeding us with... Oh God!
For-profit education in the United States is a real issue. There's a
Mike. Stop politicizing everything. Peter, go.
Peter asked. I thought it was a legitimate question.
I did not ask. If I did, I regret it. Anyway, he's been sending us some interesting articles about AI in education, and there was one here from most of our friends use AI in schoolwork.
Yeah.
With a picture of some kids there. I think from one of the TV shows. I can't remember. I haven't watched it. What's the caption on that? Oh no, these are real kids. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, my favorite story
those are
from
children.
the whole thing was the beginning. One kid writes that he used ChatGPT to write an entire speech for him, was saying it aloud to the class, and was asked a question and had no idea what the question even meant because he was just basically reading off a teleprompter.
Sure. Love it.
It's
Absolutely
a real world example of the Chinese room problem.
Except
Chinese
like
room problem.
yeah, almost in reverse, but yeah.
It's where it's a hypothetical situation where you have a box, a room, and there's people inside who have instructions to perfectly translate Chinese to other languages, and they get fed Chinese in one slot. They take that text and then they follow the instructions, and then they output, I don't know, French or English or something in the other slot. They don't know how to speak French or Chinese.
Okay.
But they just follow the instructions. That's literally all they do. They don't actually understand the instructions. They just do the step-by-step conversion. So it looks like a machine that speaks French and Chinese, because you're putting stuff in, one language and the other. But
what is Peter
internally,
describing?
no one understands.
Sounds exactly like an LLM.
That's interesting, Peter. That's a good one. I like that. I have a friend. She's in college, and I found out that she uses ChatGPT, which is crazy to me, right? Like, but if you think about it, it's just a really good assistant that sometimes will lie to you with confidence.
Yeah, for sure.
Not so very different than a normal assistant,
That's
like
true.
a human assistant.
So say, yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
So this is kind of a follow on to the story we did last week about the school in the UK hiring an assistant headmaster at an AI to be assistant headmaster, and also filled another role with AI to be like the AI
Head of
instructor
AI.
or something.
Yeah.
And they're really like going all in on this. They just want to replace teachers with AI. And if the students are doing their assignments with AI, then really it's kind of a win-win. Send everybody home, hand out the diplomas.
Not go to school anymore.
So there was I don't know if any of you guys read the comments, but we do, or I do. And there was a series of really interesting updates from someone, and he talked about, it was a reaction to the episode that we did last week. The UK prep school uses AI for principal head teacher role. No, this is not a joke. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. But yeah, he noted some things about how will parents contact the AI to help. It does a disservice to the children, especially special needs children. And he was basically kind of ranting about how it undermines the whole educational system. It's the worst idea in history of teaching. There's no empathy, no connection, a thing which all children need. A teacher makes more second-by-second decisions than a brain surgeon operating. How can a computer manage that consistently and equally? What will it do to a crying child? What will it do with a child who needs a couple of minutes out while they process something major which has happened to them at home? This disconnects children from the adult modeling, which is vital for young children. So yeah, some strong opinions there.
Counterpoint.
From an actual teacher.
Counterpoint. AI is cheap. And it doesn't complain about working conditions.
Yeah.
And it can't go on strike.
So didn't think of that, did you?
Okay, so
apology accepted.
And it actually, this is going to be like a sort of inevitability. God, that came out so butchered. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, if we go reference the hit anime TV show Cyberpunk Edge Runners, you will see that the main antagonist is in school being taught by AI. And if art imitates life, life imitates art, that's exactly what's going to happen. We're seeing it now. We're going to keep seeing this. It is cheap. It is effective. If you can have one person, one teacher manage 10 classrooms at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Instead of 10 to 20 teachers managing 10 classrooms at the same time, what do you think a for-profit institution is going to do? Even if the failure rate increases, even if the psychological like collateral damage, impact rises, what are they going to look at? They're going to look at the fact that they don't have to pay 10, 20 teacher salaries and only need to pay 1 or 2.
It reminds me of less bleak, but when my kid was in 2nd grade, had terrible handwriting, even for a 2nd grader, terrible handwriting, to the point that when we went to the parent-teacher night, the teacher said, like, "Hey, we got to work on this." And my wife,
is your kid left-handed?
No, just has bad handwriting.
Then no excuse. Okay.
My wife says to the teacher, "I don't think we need to worry about that because by the time he grows up, everybody's going to be using computers all day anyway." And the teacher was enraged.
I'm sure.
But turns out, when's the last time any of us have picked up a pencil? Who knows? So,
oh my god, I used to have really good handwriting. I actually remember on one of my report cards, it was like it noted my handwriting. But now it's fucking atrocious. Like
I'm left-handed, so I just don't have a handwriting. Like it just doesn't exist. Yeah. Like the greatest thing to have ever happened in terms of writing is moving away from it, because none of you know what it's like to just smudge paper as you write. Like you're just permanently streaking your text with your hand.
Oh yeah.
And in school, a giveaway that you're left-handed is your left-handed was covered with ink.
Interesting.
On the underside. Yeah.
Things only left-handed people
God,
know.
that's not.
Did you have like a club? Like a secret club?
We should have.
It's an actual club. Hand. It's just dominant on the left side.
Oh, a dish boom.
We should have. But we should have a club. We should have a club where we talk about left-handed scissors and.
Right.
Isn't that right?
Biden wants to move. Next story. From the AP. Biden wants to move fast at AI safeguards and signs an executive order to address his concerns. So, also, King Charles, tackle AI risks with urgency and unity.
Wow.
Oh, God. Does it?
So it's
anyone
really
less inspiring?
A youth movement, a grassroots youth movement. King Charles and Biden got together to solve our greatest technology problems.
Sure. Because really, who cares about the predatory tactics used on the web today? Let's worry about the AI.
Okay.
And really, AI should be in quotes here because it ain't very smart yet.
All right, John. All right. Okay. Now listen, I want to play not quite devil's advocate because I think I believe what I'm going to say, but
I'll be the judge of that.
Two points. First of all, AI is progressing at an incredible rate, and if we don't start looking at regulation now, then it's going to be too late. And that's happened in all sorts of different situations. So social media, privacy and data regulations, all that kind of shit. We didn't get our asses in gear when we needed it to be done, and now we're just in a big mess. Yeah. So it's important. Second point, I know that King Charles and Joe Biden are ancient. And they got funny voices, and they don't speak to us as the youth of today. But
nice try, Peter.
Yeah.
Although compared to them, you are practically a child.
You're basically 10.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, there are people who listen to them. There's a certain part of society in both the US and the UK and abroad and other countries that don't matter that that do need these senior leaders to be speaking to them, and they won't listen to us and other people and other, I don't know, scientists and younger people. They need the grey-haired people and they're the people that control politics and have the money and are in the positions of power.
The problem is not who listens to them. The problem is who they listen to. So in the King Charles story, it specifically states that he had met with Musk and a couple other people. This is when Musk declared that AI could lead to a human extinction event. I know that Biden had recently met with Musk, Zuckerberg, and I think Bezos on the topic of AI. So these guys are getting heavily influenced by the tech sector. I know we all have different issues that we're cynical on. And I agree, we definitely need AI regulation. I think AI is a looming disaster. If we survive climate change, AI will finish us off. But I just hate the way politics works.
Yeah, well, I mean, who else are they going to listen to, right? They don't know who the real AI experts are. The first thing they're going to do is turn to the people who create most of the headlines. And unfortunately, Musk is so good at that kind of shit that he just, I mean, yeah, it's sad, but that's just how things work, I suppose. I don't know.
Yep.
All right. Doing a really good job at being fairly bleak.
Yeah, AI wrote a good show for us today.
Oh, give it up, Mike. Come on.
No.